Everybody, it's Alicia Plosz, and welcome to Body Confidence. I am Mrs. Curvy Globe, and I am the reigning international queen for the Mrs. Globe pageant system. So welcome to Body Confidence, where we learn to embrace thy beautiful selves, whatever that looks like. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to Body Confidence. So Wednesday, as we know, I love Wednesdays. Wednesday is the middle of the week, and for me, Wednesday is my favorite day because Mondays I work from home and I don't normally leave my house on Mondays. And so Wednesday is my day where I get up and I get the most done. And I really like Wednesdays because I accomplish a lot on a Wednesday. And I get to see everybody here and around the world. And that's really exciting for me. So where are you from? Where are you tuning in from? And what time is it for you? So for me, it's morning. I am on the west side of Canada. I am from Alberta. And so for me, it is 10 a.m. here. And so that's morning. Where are you from? Where are you joining us? So I just wanted to start with a little bit of positivity today. We have my guest today is going to be Slifer, who is Mrs. Classique Globe 2017. And before I bring her on, I just wanted to put a little bit of positivity into your morning, afternoon, evening, or wherever you are in your day. So we are always our own worst critics, and that's just how it is because we see ourselves the most and at our best and our worst, I think. And I don't know why it is that we like to pick ourselves apart. Oh, Orange County, California, welcome. And so when we look at ourselves in the mirror, we are so easy to pick ourselves apart. And I don't think that's fair. So we need to take a deep breath sometimes. I'm not sure if you guys saw on my post last week, or maybe earlier in this week, that we need to look a little bit deeper and closer at ourselves. And today I want you to reevaluate and change your perspective of yourself. Try kindness instead of criticism. And so you need to change the conversation and because the internal conversation that we have with ourselves is so important. At the end of the day, we are our longest relationship. So how we speak to ourselves is the most important. And I think especially now when we spend so much time with ourselves and alone and we internalize things a lot more because we are a little bit more isolated in life right now, we need to be a lot kinder to who we are and gentler to who we are and be like, oh, I have stretch marks because I carried a baby. I have a little bit more wrinkles because I had the privilege of having a lot more emotions. I laughed, I cried. And just be a little bit more kinder to who you are because everybody is enough today. We can always improve. Perspective is important to remember those things and to be a little bit more kinder to who we are. And I just wanted you to leave you with that before we jump into our conversation. It's good morning. Good morning. Hi, Karen. I'm just going to bring Laura on. We'll start our chitty chat together as well. But I just wanted to open up with that just because I was thinking about that this morning when I was getting ready. Good morning, Laura. How are you? I'm really close. Sorry.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. I feel like I'm really close. There you go.
That you're really close. I know I could maybe sit back a little bit.
Because when I'm by myself, it always feels like, and then when it's just my forehead sometimes. I'm like, whoa.
I hear.
How's your morning?
Good morning.
How's your morning going?
It's going great. It's going great. Yeah, just busy already so far.
That's good. That's okay. I like when I like a busy morning. I feel like I get more done in the morning.
Yes, exactly. Well, and especially now because I get up at about between 4 and 4:30 every morning. So by 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night, I'm exhausted. So definitely my mornings are much more productive.
So you're from Colorado, so you were on the same time zone as me. So for you, it's 10 a.m. as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have a couple girls from Canada. We have Orange County, California. We have a couple of different time zones here with us this morning. So
yay.
Afternoon for some of them.
Yes. Welcome to everybody who's here with us.
So Laura, you are Mrs. Classique Globe 2017 for everybody who not know you.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you want to give a little bit of background about what the Classique title is in case people don't know what that means?
Sure, I would love to. So our Mrs. Classique title, Mrs. Globe, the Mrs. Globe organization added the Classique title, I want to say 6 years ago now, 6 or 7 years ago now. And we added that title because as pageant girls, as pageant women, pageant ladies, not pageant girls, you know, I think by the time we get to our 40s and 50s, especially now because times have changed so much, you know, we aren't ready to hang up our pageant heels. And there's a lot of pageants out there that you kind of age out by the time you're 30 or 40, or you get on stage at the age of 45, 50, and you're competing with, you know, 30-year-olds, and it's just not, you're not competing with your peers. So because Mrs. Globe is, you know, we are truly international and what we want to be able to include all women, we added our Classique division 6 years ago. So that is ladies who are age 45 and over who are not ready to hang up their pageant heels and who still want to compete. And that allows us to compete with ladies that are more in our peer group. So that's the Classique title.
I love that. I like that. I like that they're like, so I represent the Curvey brand and you represent the Classique brand, and I think that's amazing because it's true. There is no definition to beauty. Everybody's perspective is different, and everyone should have a place to be represented in that. And I love that Mrs. Ford has that, and I think that's important.
I totally agree. Couldn't agree with you more. We get better as we age.
We're like fine wine, right?
Exactly. Yes. I like to think anyway.
Yeah. Exactly. Or like my husband's like whiskey, you get more delicious, right? Yeah, it's true.
Right. Pick your.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Perfect. So your background is dance.
Well, yes. I've never done anything like professionally with dance. I enrolled in dance classes, or my mother enrolled in dance classes when I was probably 3 or 4 years old, and started dancing. So I've been trained in classical dance and in ballet, jazz, tap, everything. And yeah, I danced through the age of 21 every year. So I definitely have a dance background. Back when I was really young, I thought I really wanted to be a rockette, but that never worked out for me, unfortunately. However, my cousin was able to be on, made the Rockettes, and she was on 4 years. So it was kind of fun to go watch their performances when she was performing. So, and my aunt is a dance teacher, so I do have, my sister's been in dance. Both of my younger sisters were trained as well in classical dance. My youngest sister was a Denver Bronco cheerleader. So we have lots of dancers in the family, definitely.
Well, it's really, I think like just being active is important. And so just having any type of sport background is amazing, especially as we get older. Just to have that background is important to stay healthy, right? It's important. Yes. Doing something to stay active. Yes. And so it's great. I think it's great that you have that. Again, it helps you with your posture and the way you carry yourself, the way you move. It's very elegant. You can tell when you walk, the way your posture is so straight. And then he's kind of more like a glide than a walk.
Exactly. You know, and I grew up riding horses too. So between riding horses and being in, you know, judged in, because when you ride a horse, you have to have very good posture. You're judged on that. So between being a dancer and riding a horse, my whole entire life, or riding horses, my whole entire life, I kind of don't have any, didn't have a choice but to have good posture. So. So,
well, and probably a very strong core too, right? Just
absolutely.
putting yourself on the paddle.
Yes.
That's interesting. I didn't know you rode horses. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like growing up, my mom was a gymnastics teacher, so not so much me. That genetic gift. Me, I have no rhythm. But my sisters are both very talented.
Oh, nice.
Like athletically.
Oh, nice. How fun.
That's neat. It's just things you don't know about people, right? Yeah. I love when we get to do the interviews and behind the scenes. Things you don't know. You see them on stage, but you don't know the behind the scenes of.
Exactly.
I think it's interesting. So you've always been really great at goal setting and getting your body into shape for goals. So what are some things that you do to stay on track?
As far as with my goal setting?
Yeah.
You know, I am a person who, in order for me to be successful and in reaching my goals, I have to have, I'm very regimented. I have to, in my day and things like that, which some people might call OCD, some people might call regimented, call it what you will. But for me, that's what works for me. I have very regimented, times when I'm competing and getting ready and preparing for a competition, whatever kind of competition that might be. I definitely have, certain times that I eat during the day or try, it's like I set an alarm and it goes off and I eat, but I do try to eat at the same time every day. That I think it's very healthy for your body, and it's helpful, especially as we age, to to be sure that you try to do things like that, just because it keeps your metabolism going and things like that. So for me, it helps me stay on track when I have a definite regimen, if you will.
Schedule it, right?
To schedule it, things like that. Yeah. And then just, smaller stepping stones. I always say you eat an elephant one bite at a time. And that's really true, especially when you have, certain goals when you're preparing for a pageant or you're preparing for any kind of competition, whether it's a sporting event or whatever. You have to you can't just start one day and the next day, go compete in an NFL football game. You have to train for that. So you have to set specific goals and smaller steps and celebrate those steps. I think it's really, really important, especially we as women, to celebrate the small things. If you had a goal to run a mile today, but you didn't quite make it, but you ran a half a mile, that's great. Celebrate it. You have to give that affirmation and celebration that you did accomplish it, because tomorrow's a new day, and run a half a mile plus a little bit more, and every time you add that little bit more, then eventually you're going to be reaching that goal of running 10 miles or the marathon or whatever your goal is. So those are how I keep myself on track. And if
so you track it and schedule it.
Yeah, track it, schedule it, and celebrate the little victories, and if you slip up, beat yourself up. Because again, as women, we tend to do that a lot. We beat ourselves up if we're not perfect, or if we don't meet those goals as we think we should. So that's what I do.
It's true. You can't expect to just start something new and be amazing at it. Practice makes progress, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So
I agree. I didn't realize you didn't start pageantry until you were in your 30s. So what made you switch and start pageantry? What got you on the path to that?
I've always had pageantry in my life. When we were really young, our mom was actually on the board of directors for the Miss Colorado America pageant system, and she was on years, and she was in charge of putting together the program book. So it was fun at 8 or 9 years old. As a little girl, she would bring home all the ladies and their beautiful headshots, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be like her, I want to be that princess, I want to be that girl. So pageantry's always been in our background. Unfortunately, when I was actually in the age, when I could have started competing, I never did. I don't know why. I was actually competing. I was riding horses a lot. So I think that kind of competition, I did rodeos and things like that at the younger pageant age. So I didn't do the pageants. So then when I got into my 30s and I was married, and I realized that I missed being on stage, because I really do like being on stage. I had to find something, and I happened to be, it's really funny the way I very first found my very first Mrs. Pageant. I was actually, I was looking for something in the local newspaper, and the local Mrs. Colorado pageant had run an ad, and I came across it, and I said, oh my God, I didn't know at the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, they have Mrs. Pageants for married women. I was like, whoa. So that's that I took off from there. I was 30 years old and started competing in pageants at that point. So that's kind of why. I think I had other things that I was focusing on at the time. So.
Well, it's true. I didn't enter my first pageant until I was 35.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was such a thing in Canada.
Exactly.
I'd never seen or heard of it until I was referred it, and I was like, that's a thing here. I always just thought it was kind of a southern states thing because of the shows on TV I'd seen.
Hmm.
I didn't even know. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
So what do you like, why do you personally feel it's important for women to keep having personal body and individual goals at every age? I know you've done, like, you're the world title holder for the Globe pageant. So really you've hit a height in your pageant career. Like so now you do bodybuilding. I don't know if people know that you do bodybuilding. And so it's important to keep having goals. And so why do you personally feel it's important to keep having a new goal?
Well, I think, and I can only speak for myself personally, but
Mhm.
and hopefully I speak for women, especially in my age group. I think it's really important to have physical goals as well as just goals in general, because when you get to the age that I am, I'm 53 years old, and when you start getting to that point, you start, your body starts going through changes and your metabolism slows down and you start doing the whole menopausal thing and, all those kinds of things that your body changes. And if you don't have physical goals or keep yourself in shape, it's very, very easy to slip into weight gain, depression, um, all those negative things, can't sleep, night sweats, all those things that unfortunately we as women, we all go through
Mhm.
in
Right.
our fashion. And so for me, that started happening to me. And so I had to do something to get myself back, get my body, quote unquote, back to where I felt comfortable with myself.
Mhm.
I know you're a huge proponent in what you said before, earlier before, on the call. You have to, not be so hard on yourself. But I started being really hard on myself because I wasn't the young 20 or 30-year-old that I used to be. And so I had to get past that and learn how to do something to help my body stay in shape and stay healthy. It's for me, it's not necessarily um, the staying in shape, although it is, but it's also about health. I feel so much better now that I work out and am active than I did, say, 3 years ago when I started losing myself.
Right. Well, if you don't lose it, you lose it, and it's harder to gain it back, right? Like I know my mom's older than you, like she's in her 60s, but she said it's so hard. She works like 3 times as hard to maintain, and she can't build. Like she's fit. My mom's very fit. She's a farmer, like a farmer, and she always taught gymnastics. She's always been very fit, and she's got still has great arms, great legs. But she said she has to work so hard to maintain, and she can't build. Like she wants stronger arms, and she's having a hard time to even maintain the muscles she has as you
Yes,
get older, right?
absolutely. Our bodies, our muscles, our bones, everything, our skin, everything
Hmm.
starts, we start losing that youth, and it is harder. But I don't think, I mean, it's harder for me to build muscle too. I've built a little bit over the last few years when I started competing, but it's not even necessarily about that for me. Is still maintaining a shape, maintaining some tone, um, helping my body, helping my joints, helping my bones by keeping my muscle,
Hmm.
um, is the main goal that it is for me.
Yeah, you want to stay strong and you want to stay active so that you can stay strong and active as long as you can as well, right?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. And
It's
it
important.
does get harder. Let me tell you, when I was 20 years old, I used to just walk by a treadmill and lose 10 pounds. But no, not anymore. I actually have to get on it and make it
Right.
go.
Yeah, work harder, right?
Exactly.
Well, I know, like even like you always, and we're always, you get to a point where you're like, oh, the good old days, or I want this, and you look at like even the way I'm the same size as I was before I had kids. Yet, if even if I had the same pair of jeans I did before I had kids, they're not going to fit the same. My
Absolutely
body is completely different, right?
different. Completely
Completely different. My skin is looser. Everything is complete. I could be the same size, same weight, but I am a completely different body. It
absolutely.
doesn't matter.
Absolutely. It's the blessing of
Yeah.
being
Well, exactly, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a 20-year-old. I'm
Right.
I'm a woman now. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you just have to change your perspective as well. And so that a lot of that is you have to have a goal for who I am today, and I can't have the same goals I did when I was 20. I can't have the same mindset that I did when I was 20, and I have to be kinder to who I am now.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy now about doing my fitness competitions and the Classique division in Mrs. Globe is because you do have to change your perspective. And when you get on stage next to someone who's 20 years younger than you, you're not that person anymore. You want to be, but you're not. And so the fact that organizations such as Mrs. Globe and these fitness organizations have classes and divisions that for my age, then you do feel like you're competitive, or you don't want to compare because you don't want to compare either, but at least you feel like you're in your tribe of where you should be.
Yeah, and you want to level up where you are. You want to be in the right category, but you want to bring yourself up too. You don't want to be complacent. You always want to be able to
Exactly.
right have a goal and have a like-minded group of people. And I think it's important to find your tribe, find your people, right? Because sometimes you too, especially like I was saying at the beginning of the call, is right now, especially everything, we're spending a lot of time a little bit more isolated even in life in general, and it's a lot more negative in the world right now, and it's so easy to get stuck in your head, right? And so I find the conversations people are having are a little bit more negative, and I'm like, whoa, I gotta check who I'm hanging out with and check what I'm hearing or check what I'm saying to myself. I'm really having to like, people are so easy to give you their opinion right now, and I'm just like,
everybody has an opinion about everything anymore. And that's true. And I'm the same way. I find myself, that negative self-talk and things like that it's hard enough to do just on a daily basis. But yeah, it's like everything is like that now. So I think, doing what I'm doing now helps keep that positive mindset too.
right.
It helps with
it's true. It's true. Just like as we get older, I think our perspective changes a little bit, right? On self-confidence and body image, but we're still the same person. We're all a little bit insecure. We're always our worst critics. We're always going to find, because we see ourselves the most and we expect most from ourselves.
Absolutely.
So we're always the hardest on us, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
And I know people are always like, oh, but you're so pretty. Oh, you're so whatever. They always give you kindness, but you see the worst. So it's hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. It's like a double-edged sword. So for you, like right now, do you have any big goals or anything that you're working towards right now?
I do actually. I'm preparing for a competition on November 7th. So
Okay.
about 2.5 weeks away from another fitness competition. So yes, things are very intense right now. I'm doing
Lots of workout.
cardio a day, and again, my very regimented meal plan. I don't do this daily. This is just preparation for contest. It's just like training, for pageant training, sports training, those kinds of things. So yeah, so that's what I'm working towards now.
That's excellent. I didn't know that. That's really exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you compete, I've never done a bodybuilding competition. I work out like 3 to 4 times a week, 45 minutes a day, just like a workout just for me to stay healthy. But I don't like workout. Like that's not, I work out because I have to, not because I want to. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Now that's actually good.
Yeah, I like it enough that I do it.
Yeah.
My sister loves working out, and she looks like she loves working out. She's very fit. She probably one day will be in a bodybuilding competition because she loves it.
Uh-huh.
So my question is, I've never done one. Is there age categories too, like in pageants? So when you're competing, are you competing against people in your age category as well?
Yes, which is nice, and that's like I was saying before. I think women my age, we still feel good, but there, up until recently, in the last, several years, there wasn't any divisions, for people for women my age, and so yes, so I compete in a 50 and over masters class, and so
Okay.
and I got to tell you, those classes are big because there are a lot of women that this is giving them an outlet to feel better, eat better, have set goals, you know, and get up on stage and be pretty and have all the pageantry and the glamour that goes along with it. But still be among their peers. So yes, is the answer. We have age divisions. We have height divisions too, actually, in the fitness world. So I compete in the tall class and the 50 and over masters. So
and there's petite. There'd be petite as well. Would there be? Is there tall, petite? Is that how it works? Okay.
There's tall. There it goes height wise. So I think I'm in the D class. So A, B, C, D. So there's 4 height classes that you can compete in, depending on how tall you are. And then the masters classes go from 30 and over, 40 and over, and 50 and over. So there's 3 different classes there too.
Okay, that's really interesting. I didn't know any of that. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But even like in the pageant world, when I did Mrs. Globe was my very first pageant system I'd ever done, and when I did the Mrs. Globe Curve was the very first time I'd done it with the Classiques, and the stage was full, and it's like the variety of women that show up is amazing. I love it. I love the diversity. I can't find my words. The diversity, the heights, the shapes, cultures, like cultural night. Like I love it. I love it when women come out and represent themselves and their beauty. It's amazing. Yeah. I think it's important to embrace who you are.
It absolutely is. Yeah. In all forms and shapes and sizes that beauty comes in.
Yeah, and beauty is it's an individual thing. Right? Yeah. Did I lose you for a second? Sorry.
Yeah.
So if you could leave, there's a little bit delays, I think. Sorry. So if you could leave everybody with one positive self-love or body confidence tip, what would it be?
I would say one thing is celebrate the little things. Celebrate small steps. Celebrate the little goals, because like I said, you can't take one giant step and attain a goal in one step. It takes little steps, and along that way, in order to keep yourself positive and happy about your progress, you have to celebrate those little steps. So that's my leave you with for the day. So
no, that's perfect. I love it.
Each day to celebrate.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. And you should. And you just have to, it's true, find something to celebrate, because every day you're enough, so you should just enjoy who you are every day a little bit. Right? I agree.
Absolutely.
So next week I won't be on. Emmeline is going to take over for Body Confidence. She's going to take it for a test drive next week, so it's going to be amazing. That's right. Teresa says, because that's what the world looks like, diverse and beautiful. That's right, Teresa. Thank you. So thank you very much for being my guest, Laura. I really appreciate you. And thank you everyone else for tuning in. So I will see you guys next week on Body Confidence. I will be watching. I won't be able to be on. So have a great week. You're all beautiful, brilliant, and brave. And thank you. Have a great rest of your day, Laura. Thank you for your time, and have a great day, everybody.